Dear colleagues, good morning, everyone. Our people.
I stand giving service to the Almighty God for keeping me alive at the time when I thought it was the end. But I have not been celebrating, as he told you, my birthdays for some time now because of these Chibok girls. I remember we were at the national conference one morning in the afternoon in their assembly. That was the same day Yanya somewhere was burnt. So we were told by one Miss Bilikisu Maguru, that I was general, said that they just kidnapped or adopted over 200 Chibok girls who were ready to take the examination in Chibok. And the late Alhaji Gambo Jemeta, Inspector General Police at that time, Inspector General Police, asked me to move a motion on the Chibok girl, sympathizing with the parents and asking the government to take action immediately to bring these girls back. So, since most of these girls have not been brought back, I thought it was not necessary for me to celebrate my birthdays. Because in places, in more civilized places like the United States of America, England, one American missing is America that is missing. Nigeria, if 1,000 people are killed, people will ask, from what tribe? From what state? They're not worried. Everything must go on. Nobody cares in this country. So today, I thought it was very, very necessary for me to give an address, open address to Mr. President, President Muhammad Buhari, about his government, how he failed in his government, particularly ignoring the Niger Delta, treating them with ignominy, yet we produce everything which surviving the economy of this country. And I thought he had said he scored 100%, done very well. But those of us who felt that he did not do well should not keep quiet, should say it. I saw on the 25th or 26th on the Arise television, Femi additional, saying that I was anti when they Arise confronted him with the statement I made on my birthday. He said I was I've always been anti Buhari's government. So I now understand why these people, this particular government, have been doing things to humiliate me, treating me with ignominy as a person. At the age of about 1991, I was sitting down in my bedroom with some friends, 12 o'clock, on the 4th of this, what date? September. They said 2 buses of policemen, loaded with policemen with their guns, armed policemen, have come to this my compound and they took positions. 3 of them came up with a warrant that signed by the magistrate, that that they've come to search my house for stockpiling ammunitions in my house sent to me from the Delta. I said, go ahead. So they left. First of all, I introduced myself to them. They apologized that they heard of me, but they didn't know that I was the one they were coming to search his house. However, the order is from above. I said, go ahead. So they went down to search my house. It took them 2 hours. My secretary, Dorothy Cook, I sent her to the bank. They said they must enter her room to find out. So I have to send a car to the bank to bring her back. And they searched everything. At the end, they said they found nothing. But I must sign the statement, produce 3 responsible people to sign the document. Luckily, a Gali was here, Ambassador Gali, former permanent secretary of Power, was ready to sign. My nephew, Dr. Mulade, registrar of Maritime University of Krenkuku, was also here, so he signed. And I think Imakore also signed, former director in MTA. Then I said, I want a copy of the report. So my people, my secretary and my nephew I mentioned, followed them to Gusape, where they had their office. They went in. So they went up, and the man who sent them, their boss, stated that, and they told him, we found nothing. Then he phoned the headquarters that they found nothing. By then, the press, everybody had come to this house. Later, they left. I protested to President Buhari through my lawyer, and apart, they sent 1 Deputy Inspector General of Police, 2 AIGs, and some commissioners to come and apologize to me. They didn't send them. I said, you are lying. To cut a long story short, the Ijaw youths in Port Harcourt, in Bayelsa, in Warri, Delta, and so on, were demonstrating that they should leave my house. So I can now see whenever you, this man said that I was anti-Buhari's government for saying that they are neglecting Niger Delta, which produces the golden egg. I also remember that all presidents for some time, from Obasanjo and so on, were congratulating me on my birthday anniversary when I became 80 in 2007 or so. And but when President Buhari took office, they refused to congratulate me. I remember, I don't want to be personal, one of my boys I admire was also celebrating his 67th birthday. Another friend's mother was celebrating. The president congratulated them. I was 90 also, 89. He did not congratulate me. So in 2091, I told Mr. President, I said, look, you have not been congratulating me. I've served this country for about 70 years. And it doesn't mean anything to you. I said, I knew about 30 senior army officers in Nigeria before, when you were a young officer. 3 ministers who served with me in General Gawan's government became head of state and president of this country. General Murtala Mohammed became president, head of state of this country, followed by Obasanjo. Then he became president. Alhaji Shagari was the minister of finance. He became president. If I had come from another ethnic group who think that this country belonged to them, those of us as second-class citizens, I see no reason why Buhari would not congratulate me, or will not even apologize to me when my house was raided for no just cause. I've just given you brief background to show to you that this government has treated me, humiliated me, and so on. Perhaps the last one I should tell you, personally, when the Niger Delta Avengers were harassing the creeks, vandalizing pipeline and so on, the production of oil in this country went down. The army sent Operation Crocodile Smile to the Delta. They couldn't do anything. I traveled with the Chief of Army Staff, Buratai, General Buratai, from Benin City. He told me that he had just returned from Sapele, where he commissioned Operation Crocodile Smile to fight the youth who were vandalizing something. So we traveled together to Abuja. But when I saw things were getting too bad, I summoned a meeting of all South to Peter and Warri. Some governors attended, particularly my own. There we took a resolution to appeal to the youth. If you destroy this pipeline, you're also destroying yourself. Stop. We'll take up your matter with Mr. President. Luckily, they agreed. So on the 1st of November 2016, I led a delegation of 100, including first-class chiefs, senators, ministers, prominent citizens. As I was saying, we decided, as I said, to pay him a visit, to present to him a 16-point program. Our desires, what will make the Niger Delta a better place. You know, we got to the pilot gate. I'm witnessing that. In the villa. All the people that were delegates were screened in. I was the first to present myself. They said I should sit down first. At the end, they were not willing to check me in. Ambassador Gali, accompanied by the late Alabogre and Douglas. Appeal to them. So if this man does not go in, there will be no meeting. All these people have been checked in. So they take their phone with their boss, whoever he was, before I was allowed to go in. And when I got there, I was already late. Immediately I stepped in, the president came in. Yet I made a speech to see that there was peace in this country. That to see that the unity of this country was not disturbed. But these are the issues bothering me. The 16-point program, which Pandey presented to Mr. President, President did not look at them. He agreed. We took photographs with him. Held joint press conference together. It was when he was on medical trip to London and the vice president was acting. It was then the vice president recognized our 16-point program that the government would have accepted them. So he started touring the Niger Delta, where he made statements in Uyo that the OICs, the Overseas Oil Company, will relocate, directed to relocate the operational headquarters to the Niger Delta. Possibly, one will go to Eket. What is the name of that company? Mobile. One will go to Bayelsa State, Ajib. And Chevron will go to Warri. Then when he got to Bayelsa State, in a town hall meeting, he stated that modular refineries will be established to replace the illegal refinery being operated by our people, the youth communities. And we didn't know that they were going to commercialize them. Where will our boys have money to establish modular refineries? We had the last meeting with him as acting president on the 3rd of August, 2017, where we settled everything. But when Mr. President returned from London, who are we? I was very happy yesterday and 2 days ago when I listened to President Uhuru Kenyatta, former president of Kenya, teaching them a lesson how a president should rule his country. You do not discriminate against other people. All the tribes that made Kenya participated in his government. He said he won an election against Odiga. And there was he discussed that people were murmuring. There was this quietness in the country. So he said, am I president of Kenya? Or where do I belong to? So he called his opposition leader. That's how he formed the government where every Kenyan was recognized. So discuss with your people. Dialogue with them. You can't ignore people. You can't treat some people as second-class citizens. You told the whole world that you belong to Nigeria, to all Nigerians, but you do not belong to some people. But now we discover that was not true. President Muhammadu Buhari belonged to a group of people in Nigeria. He does not belong to all Nigerians. A situation where you pick people to appoint. They must come from one tribe, they must come to another group. And if people are not ready to speak, I will speak. I've just completed a book. Written a book on my memoirs, Brutally Frank. And in that book, everything I'm telling you now, they're out there. This Nigeria belongs to all of us. Some of us come from areas where our parents were ruling their own areas. But today, the Niger Delta people that belong to people like a traditional ruler like King Jaja of Opobo, Nana Olumu of Warri, Obaverami, Chief Bekelenmo of my great-grandfather, went to Lugard and told him that there was too much discrimination. And why? Today, our big fathers are no longer there. We are now second-class citizens. The oil industry has been taken over by Nigerians who are not Niger Delta. The headquarters, today there could have no Lekki or Victoria Island without the oil companies. Chevron has an estate in Bagada for their workers. They pay their tax there and they don't want. So, but when the vice president says so, acting president, the Biamilas complain in the house, it will never happen. We laughed. But when people who live in Lagos, who were born in Lagos, wanted to vote in the last election, they said, go to your state, go to your home. Who is fooling who in this country? If a Nigerian of equal status, equal citizens, find himself that he cannot rise to the highest position or to position which he's qualified for, and is being denied because of his tribe, because of his religion, then we have no country. So, with roads, Fashola, the Minister of Works and Housing, has been developing roads in the north, in the southwest, and some of them in the southeast. He has never one day visited the Niger Delta. The east-west road is about 12 years old now. For the 8 years of Muhammad Buhari's government, he did not, nothing was done to that place. Today you cannot pass the east-west road. Yet, it is the most important economic road in Nigeria. Because it is situated in the Niger Delta, nobody looks at it again. Yet you will spend money building roads from Kano to Maiduguri, building roads from Ife to Ibadan, everywhere. The road, the express road from Lagos to Ibadan. You can imagine how much money has been spent. Recently, NNPC took some roads to be constructed. No road from the Niger Delta was taken until a month of the time of their going. NNPC said they've taken over Benin Warri Road. When after the people have demonstrated, close the road. So who is deceiving us? Are we going to be oppressed, subjugated by whom? Not in my lifetime. I've always said, if you are 70 and above, you are the departure lounge, waiting for your boarding pass. Now I'm 96. I've collected my boarding pass. I fear nobody. I fear only God. I respect people. I'm warning whoever is ruling this country, Niger Delta people will no longer accept this type of humiliation and subjugation. NDDC was created in 2000. I was party to it, Batonjo, and myself, Senator Brume, late, and Chief Dakabli. We met. Batonjo invited us in 2000 to draft the bill on NDDC. How he brought in Ondo State, Abia State, and Imo State. We questioned him. He said the Northerners were opposed to the bill. They also wanted such type of thing for Shiruru Dam or something like that. So he brought in Ondo State, Abia State, and Imo State to counteract their majority. So I said, if oil discovered in Sokoto tomorrow, it will be part of Niger Delta. So he laughed. He said, let's have what we. That's why we have NDDC today. Today, 3 members of the board of directors must come from non-oil producing states. And they are the people squandering all the money. All the board members. How many people in that time are benefited? Look at the marginal oil field. We are strangers in our own home. The marginal oil field. As if Auna wants to become governor of, for a second time in Bayelsa State, who will vote for him? 57 marginal oil fields. He knows who he gave them to. But perhaps he has collected enough funds and so on. He now wants to contest to become governor because he's the all in all. I think at this stage of my life, I must speak my mind. So, now few Ijos, Niger Delta, got the marginal oil field. The oil blocks, there are 47 oil blocks awarded. Only Lulu Creek from River State has an oil block. A man like Mike Ibru, very wealthy man in this country at the time, applied for oil block. They didn't give him. So you begin to ask yourself, about 23 senior officers in an NPC are from one ethnic group. We have none. Our people are posted to not so important section. There was one young Gubali. I mentioned it in my open letter to Buhari when he gave Abiola this title that he recognized June 12. I wrote him an open letter. And I said, look at what you have done. You disgraced the Chief Justice of Nigeria because he came from the Midwest. In the Niger Delta, nobody will talk. Humiliated him, removed him, put somebody else. Then he created the Judiciary. There's no way where president of a country appoints the Chief Justice of Nigeria. This he did, calling that for suspended the other one and took this man. Noge was taken to a court to be tried, which he has no proper status. Humiliated the man out of office. A young lady from Akwa Ibom was in the stockbroker. I don't know what they call that place.
Stock exchange.
Stock exchange.
Pardon?
Stock exchange.
Stock exchange. Aroma was there. He had problem with the National Assembly. So this lady was there. She had served 2 years. The post was now to be permanented. They brought a man, I don't want to mention, the name is in my last press conference, to take over from her, who was working under her as a commissioner. Dr. Mrs. Azinke, she was acting for about 2 years in CAC. They removed her, suspect that she was having foreign exchange. They charged her to court, which they never proved, simply because they wanted to put their own man. A situation where you have 17 security chiefs, only 3 from the south, 14 from one ethnic group. Is that the country we are building together? You don't fight for the independence or unity of Nigeria through, what do you call it? Through discrimination, where some tribes are second-class citizens, others are first-class citizens. We can't. So, I have written everything here, but, you know, in my press conference, I normally like to speak last. But today is the last day of Muhammad Buhari. I must send him a message that he should not say Huru. Our people in the Niger Delta are disappointed. So, the secretary, the
Publicity secretary.
the publicity secretary of Pandex, Ken Robinson, will now read what I've written. But I've spoken my mind trying to cover this paper. Thank you and God bless.